Hello and welcome to the Radio Scilly video news. Sign up to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Radio Scilly for updates on what's happening around the islands and video reports featuring the people and places you know. Our video report is brought to you in association with Truro and Penwith College. Read about courses and opportunities online and watch the building of the new Penwith campus at truro-penwith.ac.uk. Sign up to the Scilly Lottery and you've a 1 in 2,000 chance of winning £1,000. You can play if you live on the mainland. It helps keep Radio Scilly on air and funds good causes around the islands. Read more at scillylottery.com.
The Scilly Lottery, scillylottery.com.
Right, the Maritime Show, and we're going to talk about the RNLI, the lifeboat, today, and as I said just now, an audit trail. So perhaps, Chris, you could tell us what, let's start off from basics. A distress call is made from a yacht or a ship or a vessel of any type, really. Where does it go to and what happens next?
Most times it'll go to the Marine Rescue's Communication Centre at Falmouth, the Coast Guard. And then they'll instigate the paging of the lifeboat, or they do a request first of all. I then call them, and then I decide, whether lives are at risk or whether it's just a yacht or vessel in trouble. You have to ascertain whether there's a risk to lives first, because we are not a towing service. We're not an AA service of the sea, so to speak. I then set the pager off to assemble the crew, or if it's a case where immediate response is needed, then I instigate a launch. There's a paging number that goes out. You enter a code, and then we have another code which can do any of these things from a phone I carry around with me all the time.
Yeah, so it could be in essence then, not so much a call-out, but a monitoring situation to start with anyway. Yeah,
to start with. I mean, you obviously got to assess, because as I think most people are aware, the launch of a lifeboat is a very costly operation all round, because it's all broken down to the actual cost of training, the cost of the actual launch, and everybody who's involved. And I think, off the top of my head, I think the average launch for an all-weather lifeboat is something like £5,800.
Funnily enough, I was only thinking about this morning, of all these sort of rescue agencies and so on, such as fire service, ambulance and so on. They're all state subsidised, but not the lifeboat. Any thoughts on that?
Well, it's always been a charity, and I think if it wasn't a charity, it'd be too much interference from government, and one wouldn't know where they were going. And at least there's independent people can make much better decisions, I feel, than if you're constrained by all sorts of rules, from above, especially in a government, because they seem to tangle things up wonderfully.
So too much red tape, in other words.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so you're quite happy with the charitable status then, and I believe the RNLI is one of the richest in the country anyway, so shouldn't be a problem. But nevertheless, there's always appeals going out for fundraising, isn't there? Yes,
and they're very, very good at fundraising, but of course we get a lot of our money from actually legacies. I think everyone appreciates what a wonderful service we give, and you only got to look at the number of people who've been rescued over the years, even just recently. It's astonishing, and to think they're all well-trained volunteers that are doing this. This is what I think grabs the public imagination, is that these people put their lives on the line, and we're very, very lucky with the team of people we've got. Admirably led by Andy, of course, and Phil and Stu. We all know their names, we all know them, and we know how good they are.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, they are, as you say, all volunteers, apart from the mechanic, and that's the only paid position, isn't it? A full-time post.
He is a full-time post. Of course, he's got a lot to maintain there, and obviously the station as well as the boat. Now the boats are that technical, and that you really do need highly trained people.
We were talking earlier, Chris, about the sort of audit trail of what happens when a distress call, and so the decision to launch is with the operations manager, with you, in fact.
That is correct, but it can be that if something locally was reported, people were in distress, and they didn't actually get a hold of me, Andy, as a coxswain of the lifeboat, he could also instigate immediate launch when lives are at risk.
So let's think about the structure then. You're the operations manager. What's the role of the DLA, though, the Deputy Launch Authority?
Well, they assist me and also cover for me if I was not here.
Yeah, so if you're on the mainland,
like a deputy, as it suggests.
Yeah. And who's that at the moment then?
Colin Risdale, Stephen Hicks, Robert Francis, and shortly it will be Mike Shave as well.
Yeah, so we've got a good team, good structure then.
That's right. And I'm hoping to introduce where we will do a rota. Yeah. Rather than me being on all the time.
Yeah. So that's the DLOs sort of. You've got 4 of those, or 3 at the moment, but maybe 4 coming online fairly soon. Yeah, well,
Colin will be retiring at the end of the year, of course.
Right.
So we've taken an early step to get someone into. Yeah. Well, Stephen Hicks, of course, because he was on the lifeboat and is well versed in what goes on.
So there's compulsory ages for retirement then?
For ourselves, 70 is the age, right. But on the lifeboat it's normally 55.
Yeah, yeah. And what about the chairman? You have a chairman as well, though?
Yes, we do, Dr. Davis, Dr. Adrian Davis.
And a treasurer?
And we have a treasurer, yes, Jan Parr.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good setup, really. And I've just been appointed as press officer.
Oh, yes.
So, how many practices does the lifeboat normally? Is there a normal rota for this?
Well, it's approximately every 2 weeks. Yeah. And there's a schedule of what training has got to be carried out throughout the year. And our lifeboat training coordinator now, of course, is Andy again. He's got a lot on his shoulders, actually, Andy.
Yeah. And what about new recruit? How many crew have we got at the moment? It's about low 20s, isn't it?
23, I think it is now. And we, as you know, we've got 2 new ones, Adam Blackwell and Dan May.
And what about the recruitment regime? Are you always looking out for new recruits, or?
Well, obviously. As people get older, they have to retire, and at the moment we got a good cross section of people, and for continuity, and there are actually sons of some of the lifeboat people got their eye in the future to join the service as well, as it used to be in the past with the Lethbridges.
Yes, indeed, yeah. Yes, because I remember Colin mentioning the other day that when all of a sudden, when there was sort of 55 or whatever age it was, and people sort of left the service, he was the youngest one, and he was pretty old as well at the time. So as long as you've got a good recruitment regime in place, then there's a good handover process, isn't there?
Yeah, I think Andy's got it right now with the cross-section of ages we've got. Yeah. The period you're talking about is, of course, when poor old Rodney Terry took over. Basically, he had quite inexperienced crew compared with when Matt was there, because he had the same people all the time. Yeah, yeah.
What about Poole in Dorset, the headquarters there? And I mean, they run training courses for every level within the lifeboat service, don't they?
That is correct. It's a fantastic establishment, the RNLI Lifeboat College at Poole. That they not only do it for the lifeboat people, but that's the prime function of it, but they do for other countries like Holland, and they've had Chinese people there. But then they also have, like, the police and things. They do courses there as well. It's like character building programs they do for them, and put them in different situations to make them think.
Well, so other agencies involved as well, though, not just at the Poole headquarters.
Well, they use that facility for that. Yeah. Yes, yeah, yeah, because it's, well, you'll see from when you go up there yourself, it's a fantastic thing.